y'all. So I wanted to talk about the power of manifestation and really just how it works best when you are releasing thoughts and intentions into the world and you're able to just let go. So when I was 19, I went to the Rose Bowl, and flying over, I hadn't even landed in LA. I hadn't been to LA ever in my life. And the thought crossed my mind as we kind of flew over the city, I feel like I was born to be here. And little did I know at the time, I was pregnant with my son. And I found myself 4 years later with an opportunity to ask him, hey kiddo, how do you feel about living in LA? Now let's rewind a little bit. So I was at my friend's house, and it was 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was exhausted from the day. We had so much fun, and I was on Indeed just clicking quick apply to stuff. And I remember I was looking at this job, and I was so sleepy I couldn't even focus. I was like, I don't even know what I'm reading. I guess I hit apply when I was falling asleep. And I was set to leave the next day, so I'm in LA at the time. I drove to Glendale to meet a friend, which was about an hour outside of Malibu. We're eating lunch when I get a call. And the people say, hey, saw you apply to this position. Are you in LA or Detroit? And I was like, when you're applying for jobs, sometimes you don't know if you should tell people where you really live. So I'm like, I'm in LA right now, but I am flying back to Detroit today. And my flight was in 3 hours. And so I said, my flight's in 3 hours. And they said, well, I don't know if we should have you drive all the way to Malibu, which was an hour from Glendale, unless this is a good fit. So can you hop on the phone really quick? And we're emailing. I would have missed this email, y'all, except for I checked my email to look for my flight number and flight confirmation. And so I walked into the bathroom and had a conversation with this woman, and it sounded like it was pretty cool. And they said the position was in Malibu. So I'm like, I've never been to Malibu. Let's just take this drive. So my friend drove me all the way to Malibu. They said, we'll get back to you in about 2 weeks. So I thought, cool. I was working at a school in Detroit at the time, and I just said, okay, we'll see how it goes. I made it to my flight. They were lovely. I didn't say that part. They were very lovely. I didn't anticipate hearing from them for a couple weeks. Flew to Detroit, and this was on a Sunday. Monday, they called me and offered me the position. And I said, okay, can I have 2 weeks? I want to give my job 2 weeks notice. We're not yet quite in the school year. I want to give them some heads up. And they said, we need you to start a week from now. And so from a job that I applied for, hitting quick apply on Indeed at probably 4 a.m. at this point, it was near 4, to asking my 5-year-old at the time, hey, you want to drive across the country and just go for it? Now, I saw that I wanted to be in LA when I was 19 years old. At this time, I'm 24, I believe, or nearing 24. And so you can see, it had been a long time since I had got up the courage to even think about being in LA after having that thought. But I got this opportunity, applied to this position, and my 5-year-old said yes. If he would have never said yes, y'all, I would have been in Michigan this whole time. But he said yes that day, and 3 days later, we were driving across the country. And it was the most beautiful, most exhilarating, hardest thing I'd ever done in my life. I was driving a 16-foot truck with my car on a trailer on the back, just me and a 5-year-old. And this 5-year-old did so good, y'all. He only asked me, were we almost there? About 30 minutes into the drive. And it was a 3-day drive. But I had so many adventures. I got the car jackknifed a couple times with the truck. So I was stuck in parking lots I couldn't get out of in the middle of the mountains in Denver. And it was pitch black. There are not a lot of like streetlights in the mountains. So it was one of the most exhilarating experiences of my life. And I will never forget it because it is the time that showed me that I could do anything. And so I feel like if I would have never done that, I wouldn't be sitting in this room that I'm sitting in today. And I didn't give myself enough time to lean into my fear because I was terrified. I mean, come on, the first time that I thought about moving to LA, it took me almost 5 years to reconsider doing it. And I didn't give myself a chance to even think about it. And so I have this tagline, and I always say, I'm always scared. I do the thing anyway. And I did the thing. Okay. So I'll probably chop that.